on, everybody? Welcome to episode 325 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles, joined as always by my mainest man, Willie Saylor, joining us via the application you know as Skype. To my right, the always patriotic, never nationalistic, wrestling nomad Daniel Roy Lobdell Jr. To my left, Stephen Kyle Brackey, may or may not be married. And today we are going to start with a little bit of kind of flow news. It's not exactly wrestling news, although it certainly pertains to wrestling. And many of you have been inquiring, where is Terry? Where has he been? Well, Terry was gone for a little bit. If you haven't seen the Flow film, it's Flow Sports' first ever feature-length Flow film about Terry Brands, kind of his life, his Olympic journey, etc. And it was great. Everyone loved it. Then it had to go away for a while due to a rights issue, basically. So Olympic footage, Iowa Public Television footage, required some, I guess, negotiation, and we got it back, right? So we had to pay for the rights, but it had to be down for a little bit, but now it's back, and we're pretty fired up about it. And the great part about it, the best part about the return of Terry is we couldn't just bring it back, right? We couldn't just have it gone for so long and just put it back up and expect it to call it even. That's not right, okay? We owe you something. So Terry's back. He's got some friends. We have a lot more video content, unseen stuff. My personal favorite and probably the best thing, and that'll ultimately be the most popular additional piece of content, is a feature on Terry and Henry Cejudo. It's about their super intense coaching relationship up through the Olympic Games in 2008 when Henry won gold. A relationship that I think truly embodies what it means to be a coach. It's not just the tactical angle. It's not just getting the guy prepared for the sport, but really that high level of accountability necessary to help develop the complete individual. So please check that out. Terry's back up on the site. It's right there. Once you get in there, you can click around in the little film section. You can see a lot of Roy stuff, Kendall Cross stuff. Bader and I actually did what would probably, the words that resonate to you, a director's commentary, though that's a misnomer because neither of us are or were directors, but it sounds good, right? He was kind of the producer. I was a guy that watched it a lot of times, so we just sat in a room and talked about it. So if that interests you, that's like deep level Terry nerddom. Please check that out, and more to come. So there's 12 additional videos, and we've got some more stuff coming. So happy Terry Day. We're so glad it's back. We missed it, and it kind of stunk that it wasn't up for a while there, but Olympic footage is not easy to get, and so we've got it. Willie, you tried to interrupt me. I don't know what you wanted to say, but I wouldn't allow it. Now go.
Well, no. Sorry I interrupted, but it's not like we had rights issues in the sense that we stole anything. They had to be renegotiated.
Oh yeah, so yeah, it's a couple years at a time. You don't have the footage for perpetuity.
I just wanted to clarify before people say, "Oh, Flo took something without permission." No, we took it. We had the rights to it, but it was only good for a certain amount of time, so it had to come down. It had to be renegotiated, and so don't yell at us on social media or anything. But,
no, you can yell at us. That's fine.
Yeah, that's the secondary or the tertiary reason that it's great. Terry's back. We all loved it. Everybody loved it. But now also you can stop asking where Terry is, which is great. Which is one of the greatest things ever.
Yeah. So I said 40% of all FRL questions are, would Nomad die in this location? But the other 40%, which equals 100%, would be, where's Terry?
Yeah.
So that's basically all the questions we've had recently. But no, it's back. I'm really fired up. I've watched every little extra feature. I think you guys are really going to dig it, and more to come. So fired up there. I don't know if you guys got anything else on the Terry front. It's good stuff.
I enjoyed rewatching it last night. It was just interesting to rewatch it considering some of the things that have happened since then.
Tony Dennis is what I thought. And we actually talked about that in the director's commentary. It's like Dennis just got back. He's at 61. It's not even probably in Tony's mind or anyone's mind that he's going to, take his spot, and be the 57 rep. He's just kind of getting back. Terry calls him the tree hugger from California. It was great. It was really cool.
Yeah, that, and then just to have him currently coaching spliced in with all of the history of Iowa, and then through the first quad, and then through the second quad. I kind of forgot how they interweave that. That was really interesting. And then coming along with the Cejudo stuff, which when's that coming out, Christian? Do you know for sure?
It's on the site.
Oh, okay, it's already
watch
on
it
the
right
site.
now.
Cool. So excited to go back and watch that and kind of add that piece to it. So beautiful thing about Terry's, there's a lot of stuff that was left on the cutting room floor that you'll still get to see.
Yeah. I thought one of the coolest features we just re-uploaded that I hadn't seen before was Kendall talking about 2007 when he was out at the Olympic Training Center and Terry was the resident coach there. And so he was kind of being helped by Terry, and then Terry invited him over for dinner one night, and pretty cool story.
Yes, that is a good one. That's a really good one. Kendall, I watched that. I didn't know anything about Kendall Cross outside of his wrestling career, and watching, he was so awesome for Terry the documentary. I thought he was very humble in how he talked about Terry and about how he approached him, and so that was a cool little wrinkle. And I'm sure it's still kind of awkward between the two, but it's awesome that Terry would have this guy over that in some ways kind of really disrupted his life. So yeah, good stuff. Get in there, watch, enjoy. Hope you like it as much as we did. Okay.
Did I enjoy wrestling the brands? No.
Of
course not.
No. Who did? No one. Okay. Ohio State wrestle-offs. They're today?
Tonight. 6 p.m. Central.
6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern, 4 o'clock, Westland, Oregon. Chael. Ohio State has two what I would consider marquee matchups, and they're so marquee that they're the only matches that are going best 2 out of 3. Micah Jordan versus Keyshawn Hayes, and Tishan Campbell versus Ethan Smith. So, I guess starting, Kyle wants us to make some predictions, and I think that would be apropos. So why don't we put our money where our mouth is, just no money, just say what we think is going to happen. Starting at 149, which is probably the juiciest wrestle-off of them all, Micah, Keyshawn, and I wrote about it, and we'll run this article later today, probably around noon, but it's up on the site now, about the Micah-Keyshawn matchup. And I think it is a real style clash in many ways. Jordan's really forward, wants to get his hands on you, not very good on the mat. Keyshawn's good on the mat, kind of hangs back a little from neutral, can kind of appear a little lackadaisical, but that's when he can hit you. It's when we saw those go behind against Zane was kind of like, whoa, it looks like he's holding still. He's really good. But Keyshawn, a guy that's kind of had to move around based on guys coming into his weight and maybe in that position again. I feel like this is Micah here. I think it's super close. I don't know how much partner familiarity there is or isn't here, although for the little video we put in an article, I put this one of Micah and Keyshawn wrestling together in practice last year, so it certainly happened. There should be some level of familiarity, but I don't know how much. Typically, these wrestle-offs yield a low-scoring match, so I think it's Micah close. But if Keyshawn can make it happen on top, certainly he'll have his opportunity.
2 matches?
Yeah, I'll pick 2.
It's really hard. We talked about this when we did the Final X picks, right? If you see a match going a certain way, it's hard to predict a third. Why would it not just go that same way, or even worse the second time around? So I'm gonna agree with Christian. I'm going Micah in 2, and then after this we can talk about guys who it's really hard when a guy has to go a certain weight for the team that might not necessarily be best for him. And any coach that can convince a kid to do that, that's impressive.
Okay.
Willie?
I say Keyshawn gets one. I'll say Keyshawn gets one. Only because Christian said close. And I think close, Keyshawn can find a way to maybe get a riding time point or something like that. I give Keyshawn a fighting chance.
But Micah in 3.
But Mike in 3.
I agree with what Christian said. Unless Keyshawn gets a turn, I see this Micah in 2.
So we think Micah, which means Keyshawn to 57. He'll wrestle off probably Elijah Cleary. I think he'll beat him. And I think he'll be all right. I don't think he's going to be completely horsed around up at 57. I think he'll be fine. Although
I'm really intrigued. It's going to be a good match.
It really is. It's going to be entertaining. I'm pretty fired up for it.
I'm interested too. I mean, Ohio State has recruited as well as anybody, and I don't know. Maybe their freshmen aren't going to beat the incumbents and the upperclassmen, but I'm interested to see Quinn Kinner wrestle Joey McKenna. I'm interested to see Alex Felix wrestle Luke Fletcher. Gavin Hoffman versus Miles Martin. I just want to see them.
Let's not even tell him.
Okay.
Well, so McKenna's not wrestling.
Okay.
That would have been cool, but he's not wrestling.
Well, the young guys, right? I want to see where they're at. Malik.
Well, that's what I said. So, I'm basically rehashing my article. But, like, the things I'm excited about, these freshmen, Hoffman, Miles, Martin. And really there's freshmen that Ohio State's going to need productivity out of. Caleb Romero. They're going to need – I mean, we figure Heinzelman's probably going to be the guy. They're going to need him. They're going to need Chase Singletary. They're going to need Ethan Smith if he makes the team. So that's like 4 freshmen that are really no one – there's not a Snyder. There's not a Nato Bojo where you're like, I know that this dude is going to be this, right? It's like, man, he was good in high school, and, you know, we don't really exactly know. I don't know about Caleb Romero. You know, he wasn't great last year. He was fine at 174, but nothing that would be a predictor, right, that, okay, he's an All-American contender. Chase Singletary is maybe a little bit – we all kind of cooled on him a little bit, and Ohio State recruiting so aggressively at heavyweight and getting Kirkfleet is a further signal that maybe he's not going to be quite what we thought coming out of high school. And then Ethan Smith is a prospect I really liked coming out, but again, he's got to have a long road to start over to Shan. So, yeah, they're going to need productivity out of the freshman. And Hoffman is someone that, you know, after Who's Number 1 last year, I really thought highly of. And I think a couple things we'll learn about him. One, you know, how I think he's pretty athletic, but how athletic is he? Can he get to Miles Martin's legs? I don't think he can probably finish yet, but can he get in there? Can he generate some offense? Can he not just be a sitting duck hanging back? Like, can he generate something? 1. 2, how does he look down at 184? If he wants to start next year, he has to be an 84, right? Colin Moore's got another year. I don't see him supplanting Colin Moore. So he's got to be effective down at 84. I think he can be, but we don't know for sure. So we'll be able to see, hey, how does he look size-wise against Miles Martin, who is a solid size 84, certainly not the biggest. So I think there's a lot we can learn about Gavin Hoffman, and that's that was probably the thing I was like the third most excited about coming into this. I think that's intriguing, even though it could be a bloodbath.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm with you 100%. And for Ohio State, which has become one of the preeminent programs in the country, you know, perennial title contender or podium team contender, they have a heck of a lot of talent, but they have a heck of a lot of questions too. Not just in, like, you know, they got good recruits. How good are they? Remains a thing. Another thing is what weights these guys go. I mean, you know, going forward after this year, is Gavin an 84 or 97? We'll get a look at Alex Felix. Can he be a 33 or 41? Can Quinn Kinner be a 41 or 49?
And Sasso, he's not wrestling today, but where's he fit in?
There, right? You got Rocky Jordan. Is he going to be a 60? You don't know if he's going to be a 65. He could be all the way to 84. So a lot of, for one of the best teams in the country, a lot of questions about their future lineup.
Yeah, as many as maybe any team. So we'll see that. We'll see all those guys scrapping. Now let's do Tishan, Ethan Smith. So I think this is another kind of style clash here. Tishan, not a lot of offense on his feet, really good on top. Smith, I don't know about his mat offerings, all that. I don't think he's particularly special there. I think he's best on his feet. So another kind of convergence here. And Man, I don't know. I kind of feel like the upside is with Smith here more so than Campbell, but I don't know. I don't really know. I'll let someone else go first.
I think Tashan's gonna be. I give him a little bump going up to 74.
Think he was too big?
I think he's gonna be much more comfortable there. Yeah.
I'm with you, Christian, as far as like the upside thing. Like we've seen T-Shane, right? He's got 3 years of experience. Right? We saw him at Pitt. We saw him last year at Ohio State. With Ethan Smith, there's 1 year of data, and he was kind of a high upside, like low risk recruit anyway, in terms of probably what they're spending on him and what they can get out of him. But the thing is, how big of a jump did he make in that one year, right? Because that's kind of when we see a lot of guys make a big jump is that first year in the room, and then they come out second year guns blazing. But I think T-Shan's probably a little too good on top still for him.
Yeah, I mean it could be a situation where you get the early takedowns and you don't go under. More than anything, I felt that them setting this up to go 2 out of 3 was kind of a little signal too. Like this is a thing. This is going to be close, and Smith is right there with him. I think if Tashan was dominating him, or if they thought he would, I don't think they would subject their freshman to that. So I think just the fact that this is only the second 2 out of 3 says, hey, Ethan Smith's going to be right there in this match.
It's weird too because they don't have any common opponents because they both wrestled at different weight classes in their wrestling this year. Ethan had his whole redshirt year up at 184, and T-Shane was down at 65. Solid year for Smith, 19-7. Close losses to guys like Dakota Gear, Jelani Embry, Bonacorsi. I'll take T-Shan.
Okay, he's got T-Shan.
I don't feel like super confident about it.
I'm going Smith. I'm going to take Ethan. Ethan in 3. I will say 3 for this one.
So it'll be interesting because the first
I don't know, man. T-Shan beat Isaiah White and Anthony Valencia last year.
He did. The first 2 matches are match 1 of the 49-74, and then 25 is for the spot. Like, if Malik wins, I feel like they got to go with him, right? Is there 25?
Well, what does their 25 future look like beyond Malik?
It's Malik.
It's just Malik right now. They don't have anyone in the hopper.
Well, Jacob
Decatur.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think you send him out there. Let him get a year, take his lumps. This is kind of I don't want to say take your lumps kind of year, but I just don't see this team contending for a title or top 3. I mean, how do they get past the Oklahoma State and Iowa or Penn State? I just don't see it with this team. So I think get a bunch of experience, let them learn, let them do the Big Ten grind and figure out what they need to do to get better so that when it's time, they can do well.
I think Malik could be all right come March.
Yeah.
I mean, he might take some. I think he can be competitive. I liked what we saw out of him at. No, it's freestyle, but juniors at Vegas. He looked bigger. He looked more physical than he's ever been. I think he could be fine in March. Especially with the dynamic of the weight class. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I would be stunned if he didn't qualify, but I just think I worry about him stylistically. I don't know what he's got on the mat necessarily. I've seen him wrestle so much freestyle. How big is he? Is he physically? You commented on his size, Willie. Where exactly is he, size-wise? But yeah, I think he could be a thing, and I think the biggest point is the construction of the weight. It's not 133 bare tough.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think by March he can beat guys. I don't know, 7 through 12.
Okay.
And I won't be completely surprised.
Well, let me pull up the rankings here, and we can talk to it briefly. A Rayvon Foley. Not that I don't think he's top 12, but that's someone I could see him going with beating. Number 12, Drew Mattin, for sure. Number 11, Travis Pietrowski, for sure. Now 10, Sean Russell. Don't think so.
Yeah, maybe not.
Sean Fowles, no. Louis Hayes, he could maybe go with Louis Hayes. Mm-hmm. I could see him in that tier, 100%. So yeah, I think you use him. I think you use him right away.
Me too.
I don't think you regret that. And I think that's probably the plan. Okie doke. So that's Ohio State wrestle-offs. Again, watch them live on FloWrestling.
What time is it?
6 Central, 7 your time, buddy. So good stuff there. All right, fired up. Okay. Should we go to upper weights discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Let's do that. So yesterday Worlds, or Tuesday, I guess we'll say, we talked the lower weights, made some predictions. We talked a little gambling action where we put our money. So I guess we made it to 74, which means we'll start with 79 kilograms, which I'll read you the odds, and then we can discuss them. 79, Gazi Magomedov, minus 125. Dake, plus 140. Hassanov, plus 450. Shabanah, plus 850. Obst, plus 1,500 in the field, 2,000. Sticks out to me, man. Dude, the difference between Shabanah and Dake is not what is reflective in those odds. Like, Shabanov is outstanding. And I think that's where the value is. If I'm looking now, do I think he's going to win? No. But plus 850 for someone that good, a guy that gave Burroughs one of his toughest matches, who has historically, been in the mix amongst the world's elite. Is he not a world champion at 70 in 2014? What did he do in 2014? He messed up Nick Marable. I remember that distinctly.
He's not made a finals.
Okay, he did something really good. I like him a lot. Probably won't win Worlds. Probably this is Gaji or Dake. But man, are you understand what I'm saying about that disparity?
Yeah, the value's there for sure.
I just don't. I don't know if that's like a line made with like Dake fandom in mind or something. Just understand that the public's probably going to bet Dake more than Ali Shabanov. But
I think it's made with Dake.
Love.
Beat him twice this year.
Okay, I guess there's that.
Like Dake, really outside. So if you look at the international rankings that Seth does, right, there's a whole bunch of rankings there, or excuse me, there's a whole bunch of Russians there. It's 79, so Dake hasn't gotten to wrestle them, but he has beaten pretty much everyone. He obviously lost to Gaji, but he's beaten guys that Ron has sent out. He's beaten Hassanov. He's beaten Takatani. So as far as other guys who aren't Gaji Magomedov who are there that Dake could see, he has beaten pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
What's the seeds?
Dake and Gaji will hit in the semis.
Perfect.
It hit in the semi. So, but if Shabanov's opposite side, that's a lot of value there. Christian's right.
Yeah. So that could happen. For example, I just don't see Hassanov with a great shot. I think he's a guy that basically always wrestles for a medal, but I don't see much else as we take a look at the Flow rankings provided by Seth Patara. So yeah, those are the rankings, and I don't know. I guess, are we all picking Gaji?
Hassanov is the 2 seed, so if you're looking for medal value, yeah, I do see what you're saying. But as far as winning, I don't see Hassanov being a serious threat to win.
Shabanov was 13th at Medved and 10th at Euros. I don't know exactly who the losses were to off the top of my head.
We should feel so confident in Dake meddling though, because if he's on the short side, the small side semi, which he will be, you get a couple things. One, high likelihood he makes a semi. You make a semi, you're wrestling for a medal. That's it. So it's tough that you're on the same side as the best guy, but man, if it's one of those 8 and 16 deals and he has to beat 2 guys, I mean, he could have a really simple path to bronze, which could be big points. So that's good to know that he can't hit someone that good early. And as Nomad's mentioned, he's beaten a lot of these dudes. He's ranked number 2 in the world for a reason.
Well, and even the challenge domestically, right? Like, Dieringer, outside of Kyle Dake this year, Dieringer wrecked a lot of the international field. I think he went to 2 or 3 tournaments and had, 7 or 8 techs. Valencia, in terms of you look at what he's done on the junior level and what he did here, like, you could very, very reasonably make a case that Valencia is easily in the top 10. So even having that domestic challenge is good for Kyle too. So I I don't know. I just don't see any way how it's not Dake and Gadji in the semis with the winner getting gold. Again, Hasanov is on the opposite side, and then Shabanov will be randomly drawn in. He will be the fly in the proverbial ointment, as it were.
Okay. So that's that. I think the values with Shabanov, it's tough to bet against Gaji Magomedov, even though, he beat Dake so bad. It's almost like maybe you shouldn't say this, but it's like you almost throw it out because when does Dake get beaten that bad lately?
That's what I've been saying.
It's like I just don't see that happening.
I've never seen like value for Shabanov to medal, value for Dake to medal, I think, or value for Shabanov to win, value for Dake to medal, and there's almost value for Dake to win because I throw that out as an outlier. So I've never seen Dake taken down that easy.
Right. And maybe that's but and then now here's where my mind is like kind of like punching itself. Maybe that's the point. Maybe the whole point is this guy is that good, and the reason it never happens because there's no one else that good.
Right, yeah.
So that's like the other end of the spectrum. But then I go back to the other way, counterpunch. This guy has not been beaten by Jordan Burroughs really that bad.
I think
you are pretending to fake. You're losing your mind.
I'm pretending to fake a little bit. It's kind of messing with me.
the only time we've seen Dake beat like that was probably like 2013, the first match against Burroughs. Burroughs like 10-0'd him really quick.
Yes.
And then the next match went into when they had overtime.
Okay.
So maybe he got that feel for him. I know it's not an hour later.
No,
like
but he's
team
had more
trials.
time to adjust.
Right. So maybe he's got that feel now, and it's a much closer match.
Here's the reattack counterpunch
Yeah.
to the other punch. Dake makes adjustments in match 2, and there won't be overtime in this one. So who knows what happens. Okay.
What concerned me, last thing about this, because I'm like kind of scrubbing through it here right now, is Dake is going to have trouble scoring on him. And if Gadji can score that easily on Dake, who obviously is damn near impossible to score on, and then like Dake's going to have to win on step outs, which is a risky proposition.
Or power bombs.
Dake bombs are
Sometimes he
always in play.
Sometimes he power bombs Takatani and Carver Hawkeye.
That's pretty sweet.
Can't rule that out, but you can kind of rule it out maybe.
But this
All
is if you want to
like Takatani to medal with his value.
Yeah.
All right, 86.
86. Classic Yazdana Charati minus 141. Got it. Maybe is that a hat tip to like, I don't know, Yanni or something? 141. Okay. Number 2, David Taylor plus 115. Karugliev plus 600. Kudya Magomedov plus 800. He's not Russian. It says Russian. I mean, he is Russian, but he's not, right?
He's Italy.
Italy. That's a very Italian name.
Kids, don't bet on Cootie. He's not wrestling at the World Championships.
But if he does, plus
free tip there.
All right. Well, you never know. I think the odds will go up. I think he's trying to drive the odds up higher. He's going to make the bet, and then Cootie is going to come in.
Cooking the books.
Yeah, classic. I've seen it 1,000 times. In the field is plus 1,200. I don't see – listen, to me, there's 2 guys that can win this weight. Maybe that's blasphemy, but to me, it's reality. And so I don't see I think you just have to bet who you think is going to win, right? If you think Charati's going to win, I don't think that's bad value for Charati. If you think he's going to beat Taylor, sure. If you think Taylor's going to win, bet him. It's even a little sweeter because he's plus money. I think David Taylor's going to win, so I would bet on him to win.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's simple. You pick out of those two. I think the same thing at 74. You pick who you think is going to win, Chamizo or Burroughs. I think the same thing at 86 and the same thing at 97. You're picking a 50-50 proposition.
Exactly.
Not a 50-50 proposition, but it's just those 2 guys.
It's close to 50-50.
And Karugliev, I feel like, is like clear. It's these 2 guys, and then it's Karugliev, and then everybody else. I feel like he's clearly the 3rd best guy. Don't you know, man?
Well, I've said this. I really like the Cuban, Torre Blanca, and
yeah, but people say that. A lot of people say that, but his resume isn't that great. a lot of people saw him wrestle David Taylor close, and there's like, Torre Blanca. Torre Blanca. He's just another guy.
But he can. I mean, he can certainly medal. You look at the composition of how the bracket is going to be. So Erden from Turkey is your 1 seed, and he did everything this year. So we have a pretty good idea of like he can certainly wrestle for a medal. Taylor's going to be your 2 seed on the bottom side. Yazdani Cherati and Krugliev will be random drawn in. And
Peralta could very well be in the finals.
No, he can't. I'm telling you, 86 is one of the deepest weights.
If you go,
listen, he's gonna have the 4 or 5. You like Aminishvili over him?
Torre Blanca is just another guy.
But here's the thing, Will. Yazdani Cherati and Krugliev could all be in Taylor. Well, Taylor definitely bottom side, but those other 2 could also be bottom side. So then he would basically have to beat Erden, and then I
don't know if he can do that.
He would have to beat Suleimanov, who
I don't know if he can do that.
He hates Cuba. Willie hates Cuba. Yes, you do. You'd hate YBR. You hate him.
Torre Blanca's wins? Where's Torre Blanca's wins? Where's there any indication that he can beat these guys? Because he wrestled David close once or twice?
No, he has wins.
He really doesn't. He has losses too. He's just another guy.
Wow.
Willie.
Really anti.
He can make the finals if all other competitors are in the other half of the bracket.
Which could very well. We have seen that happen.
I hope you run into this man in a dark alley one day.
He could make the finals, but he is not proven better than anybody else in the bracket.
Really? He has proven himself to be the worst guy in the bracket. You don't think he's beaten anyone in the bracket?
Why is he better than Suleimanov? Why is he better than Erden? Why is he better than Dotto?
Well, I mean, Mark Hall beat Suleimanov, and
so what? Suleimanov was runner-up at Dogu, was runner-up at Thing. He's beat a lot of ranked guys.
At the Thing Invitational?
I don't know off the top of my head.
No, it was Thing.
I'm saying if we threw Mark Hall out at 86 kilos right now, he would do better than Suleimanov, and I bet that Torre Blanca would beat Mark Hall right now because of how huge he is.
Okay, you should bet on Torre Blanca.
You should bet on Mark Hall.
Why don't you just bet on Torre Blanca?
All right, we're spending a lot of time on a Cuban. Okay.
I mean, Suleimanov, he outplaced freaking a lot of people. He was second at Dogu, third at Euros.
What was he at Thing? I think he just made the finals.
He was second at Thing.
Okay, go USA. David Taylor. 92. Sharifov, plus 150. Sokolov, plus 200. Jaden Michael Tabori Cox, plus 300. Ibrahimi, plus 400. Marsagashvili, plus 900. Okay, in the field is plus 1,000. Okay. Well, this is a lot of really good guys. This is going to be, I feel like Jaden going to wrestle for a medal again, but man, it's going to take some doing.
More money tips for you kids? Don't bet on Ibrahimi.
He no come.
Not going.
Not be there.
Karimi.
Oh, Karimi.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they went with Karimi?
Yeah.
That's smart, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think he's better. All right, so there's another guy. Now, Jaden's beaten him twice, but...
Kicked him.
No. That's not the guy he kicked.
Yeah.
No.
Who'd he...
It was, not that guy.
Was it Golej that he kicked?
It was the guy that beat Clayton Foster really badly.
Might have been Golej.
Mustafa Jakur.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Mustafa Jakur.
Boom.
Dang it. But yes, either way, he has beaten Karimi.
World Cup. 2016.
Mm-hmm. And at the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
However, Ibrahimi beat Karimi twice this year.
Ibrahimi Karimi. I think he beat him at Thing. All right, so who do we got?
Beat him at Dogu.
Okay.
He beat him in Dogu finals.
So, Nomad, why don't you kick it off? Who you got winning this weight?
Okay, so I really like Sharifov. Number one,
Ageless.
Number 2, Olympic gold medal. I like that. And outside of Sadulayev, and I'm gonna say a World Cup where he was in no good shape. Sharifov has been super consistent for 6-7 years. He's 2-0 against Cox. Marcigishvili of Georgia's 2-0 against Cox.
Jaden can beat Marcigishvili for sure.
He can, but he hasn't.
He has not.
And
Sharifov, my point being, I think he's further off from Sharifov in the results than Marcigishvili.
Yes. But as far as I think Sharifov is the favorite. I think when you combine the fact that he's 0-2 against Sharifov, 0-2 against Marcigishvili, this is Jaden Cox, and the loss to Makov, it's really hard for me to pick Jaden to make the finals because it just seems like one of those guys.
Jaden should be way better odds than he is. Plus 300 is that's I don't know, just on hope, right? For him to be plus 300 against this field.
You're saying he should be like +4, +2. Which way?
Yeah,
which
plus
way
like 500 or so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, the weight's not good.
Well, it doesn't matter how good the weight is. It's the relative to him and the guys he loses to. It's superior to him, right?
I don't know. I mean,
well, he just read you that laundry list of losses.
Yeah, look at the guys around him.
All right. Well, I hope he wins.
I mean, Sokolov. This weight is a disaster.
Sokolov
was the fourth ranked. Sokolov was the fourth ranked guy in Russia like a month and a half ago.
So
he was ranked 10th in the world not long ago.
So I put in. I did this. For those of you that remember NCAA Blaze, I did like an Ohio State versus Penn State team race circle, right, and like kind of what it would take to win. And I wrote basically 10,000 words on USA versus Russia. Sokolov is the perfect example of the Russian who no one has heard of prior to the World Championships, except for nerds that really follow it, that walks away with a medal, and everybody's like, who was this guy? Where did he come from? And he might even get gold, like Grigoriev circa 2013. So Sokolov, massive wild card.
It doesn't hurt that the weight is not good.
Correct. And then you look at like Turkey is sending Serdar Boke, who's okay.
Boke, who beat Jaden.
Did he? I don't remember that one. And then
first round of Dogu.
He lost to anyway. And then Yankuski, not great. So like I don't know. This I would not feel good about Cox winning, and I think Sharifov's the favorite going in.
Okay. I think we're agreed there. Anyone picking outside of Sharifov to win this?
I wouldn't bet on this whole weight. But I would take Sharifov.
All right. Oh boy. Sadulayev Snyder.
Also, just real quick, also of note, Sharifov will be the 2 seed, so he'll be bottom side.
And Jaden unseeded?
Correct.
All right, so I hope for a top maybe. All right, Sadulayev, Snyder, Albarov, the field. Sadulayev -116, Snyder -116. So literally pick who you think's going to win, or go crazy, bet Albarov. What about the Iranian?
The Iranian is Golej.
Oh.
So
where's the good one? To beat where's the one that beat Kyle?
Dude. Iran, amazing country, love wrestling. Kadem lost his mind this year.
He go crazy?
Just pick the team. I was like, I'm not happy with you. I'm not happy with you. Basically, Spade compared it to like a baseball manager who's unhappy with a guy who hits like 280 with like 75 RBI. Like, this guy, he's not an all-star. And then they bring up like a AA or AAA call-up who hits like 260.
He's like the fans of like football teams who always want the backup when the starting quarterback's not quite delivering. It's like, well, no. Just because you want someone better doesn't mean you have that. You have the guy.
The way I understand it, I don't pretend to be a know-it-all when it comes to Iranian wrestling, but what I see, what Kadem is doing is he's saying this guy ain't gonna win anyway. This guy isn't gonna medal anyway. So let's give our second-string guy or this alternate guy a chance to get experience because he ain't gonna win anyway.
But it's also hurting the confidence I assume it's hurting the confidence of the team because you have guys who aren't winning trials, who aren't going to camps, who are losing internationally, and so fans and people within are like, well, okay, maybe this guy isn't going to win, but he did all the things. You went to all the camps, he won the trials, like he went overseas, like he did all the things you asked him to do, and now you're pulling him.
Yeah.
I'm not. There's two different things.
Yeah.
I'm not disputing that, but I'm saying they don't really have medalist contenders at some of these weights anyway.
Okie doke. So
pick
we're spending a lot of time talking about guys that aren't Sedgelayev or Snyder, so I'm going to kick it back to that. I've got Snyder again. Both sides very confident, although I haven't seen Sedgelayev talk as much, but Snyder has talked plenty. He said that Sedgelayev's getting bad advice, that people are telling him he can win. He doesn't understand why. People are telling him that because he can't beat him. Strong words from a strong man. Sedgelayev side says, hey, we talked about this Tuesday. He'll make him look like an amateur. He won't get in position to score a point, or so, he said something along those lines. It's not just that he won't score. It's like he won't even be close to scoring. So, all right, there you have it. I'm going with Snyder again. Too big, too strong, too good.
Too good, yeah. Snyder as well.
I think it will be lower scoring than last time. I don't think it will be as good of a match, and I unfortunately don't think the team title will be on the line, but Kyle Snyder.
Okay.
How much
Kyle
do we
Snyder.
put into sorry, Kyle.
No, you're good.
How much do we put into if you watched Russian Nationals, Sedgelayev didn't look Sedgelayev like. I don't know if he wasn't fully at the top of his game because he knew that he could beat anybody at Russian Nationals, but he didn't look himself.
No, I think that's part of it. Well, what I've been looking for post Snyder loss is like, okay, I hadn't lost ever. Yeah. I lost. I've got to adjust. I got to get way better. I got to get bigger. I got to do this, and this. Thought there were some things he needed to be doing and showing in order to surpass Kyle Snyder, okay, to get over that hump. And I really haven't seen that. I haven't seen that force of nature that was unquestionably the pound-for-pound best guy up until he lost. And if he wins again, he's number one.
You're right. Instead of Sedgelayev losing and being like, all right, man, I gotta get back on that horse. I gotta get back behind that plow.
I was about to say, back on the plow.
I gotta start working. This is not gonna happen again. I'm gonna be the best, and I'm gonna prove it, and I gotta get better. Instead of doing that, it seems like he's like, that was a fluke. Wait till next year.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know why. Snyder spotted him 2 points. He went Gelagayev tried to jump over him to start it. He just started with 2-0 lead, and he still lost. I don't know, man.
But at the same time, while as bad as Sedgelayev looked on day one of Russian Nationals, he kicked the crap out of Betsayev, which hadn't happened before. Like, he widened the gap between himself and Betsayev. So there's a little bit of potential playing possum, and I'm conserving everything for the finals, which you can do now on a 2-day format. And obviously, if weigh-ins affect Snyder, which I don't think they do, but if there is any effect of weigh-ins, it will affect Kyle more than will affect Sedgelayev.
Yes. No,
So
that's true. I mean, he cuts to make 97. There's no doubt about it. This is this weight is tough. You know, Otakazi in the mix is always pretty much always gonna be a tough match for Kyle.
Outside looking in too, you know, we're painting with rose-colored glasses, but if you're over there and you're seeing Salas Perez almost beat Kyle,
true.
I mean, we're picking apart his Russian performance, Sedgelayev's Russian performance. I mean, if you're over there in Russia, you could say, look at Kyle lost at Dogu, and Kyle lost, he almost lost to Perez. So.
Yeah, that's very true as well. I think it's having seen Kyle race his level the last 3 World and Olympic Games makes you think he's going to be able to do that again.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Until proven otherwise on game day, he's the man.
Yep.
And now they could hit
Anywhere.
round 1. Let's get it out of the way.
Absolutely anywhere in the bracket.
Rig it a little, guys. No one's going to be mad at you if you do that.
Neither of them are seeded.
They're frankly unseatable at this point. Okay. 125 kilograms. They're getting bigger. They're stronger. They're scarier. There's Taha, Agul, minus 152. Petriashvili, plus 130. Ooh, I don't know this Ukrainian name. Kotsianimsky. Beryanidze from Armenia, plus 900. Gwizdowski, got that one, plus 2,000. Why don't you give the Ukrainian name a shot?
Kotsianivsky.
Kotsianivsky. Got it. I just need to hear it once. Now I'll hopefully never mess it up again. So this is similar to other weights we've discussed. I think this is 2 guys and no one else. Spot the lie, Wrestling Nomad.
Well, Kotsianivsky had beat Petriashvili in Ukraine, and then they flipped, I believe, in either Georgia or Turkey. Madsmanashvili, who you'll remember from being... Just look at him and tell me if you think he's natural.
He's natural, man.
No. Also, Jacob Kasper listed as an alternate in the entries. Anyway.
for us?
Yeah.
All right.
Interesting.
What if Kasper wrestled at Worlds? The weigh-ins happen. It's like, yeah, we're going with Kasper. I think that's what Kadem would do. He's like, Quiz never wins Worlds. Let's go with Kasper.
But yeah, so good things. Gwiz top seed, so theoretically easier draw in terms of smaller side.
Bad is Petriashvili in the
but
semi.
He won't have him in the semi because the Ukrainian are the 2 and 3 seed. Therefore, Gino is 3.
Love it.
Yes. Not knowing where Taha is of course an issue. Gwiz beat Madsman last year, so having Kotsianivsky and Petriashvili opposite side is great. And then if you get Taha opposite side,
oh man,
silver's possible. And Gwiz is one of those guys who, to me, a big part of why America won last year. 57, Gilman gets 9 points, Uguev gets 0, so that's obviously massive. And then Gwiz wins his bronze medal match. Kizriev, the Russian, loses his bronze medal match. So we go plus 11 from Russia, those 2 weights. Massive.
Yeah.
So
and Nomad, outside of Agul Petriashvili, I mean, otherwise, I think it's really deep weight all of a sudden, heavyweight. Like, it's tough to place.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, I would say there's more name cachet and landmines in 79 or 92. I think that's part of it.
Well, I think anytime you have 2, I don't know. I think Petriashvili and Agul are 2 of the best guys in the world, kind of anyway. They're up, especially Agul. I think Agul is better. I know he lost, but
it's amazing. I mean, I don't know a whole heck of a lot about world history wrestling rivalries, but that has to be one of the best rivalries ever, right? They both medaled in the last 5 worlds in Olympics.
Yeah, and I think the nice part is that they're huge, so they can't go to different weights or anything.
There's no avoiding.
They're kind of stuck with each other, and they didn't do the thing that a lot of international wrestlers do. It's like, they just kind of go off the grid for a year or 2, and they don't wrestle.
They
it's
didn't do that, and just when you thought Agul was like superior, Petriashvili beats him in maybe one of the best matches ever.
Best heavyweight match.
Yep.
Heavyweight, yeah.
It's a great match. So, okay, I'm going Agul. I think he's better. I kind of always have been Team Agul over Petriashvili. When he's on, I think he's the best overall athlete. I don't see him gassing. Mm-hmm. That can be a problem for him. But I don't think it'll happen this time. So I got Agul, and I think he's a pretty safe bet at minus 152.
And then real quick, do we want to run down team scoring and just kind of that quick before we get into questions?
Well, actually, this kind of is a perfect segue because our good friend Bort Hart at Jobber Glorified asks, with the field set, I'm just reading the names, with the field set, do you expect the new format and scoring system to help or hurt Team USA? So a few FRLs ago, and probably by few I mean many, I said that the new scoring system helps Team USA because I think we have more upper echelon gold firepower than Russia. I think Russia is 10 really good. I think we've got more gold guys, okay? Gold medalists. So with that helps us more.
Gold guys.
Year over year, gold. We'll call them gold guys. That's wrestling talk. So I think, and you actually ran the numbers year over year, comparing last year's scoring system to the old one and the new one, and we won by more, and kind of a lot more. And it's because we had the edge on golds. And I think the same will be true this time. I think we have more gold opportunities and not that many fewer potential medalists. And for that reason, I think it does help us.
We might have more medalists, right?
I'm gonna dispute both of those and say I think Russia has just as many, if not more, gold guys. Rashidov at 61, Ghazi at 70, Gadji at 79, and then look, whether we like it or not, whether we pick Snyder or not, Sadulayev can beat Snyder.
So you think Sadulayev's a gold threat?
Yeah. So there's 4, and then I think they have more medal threats. I mean, look, 61 65. I really don't like doubting Logan, but I have a hard time thinking he's going to get us 15 points, which is what it's going to take.
Why? Why do we need 15 points there?
Because I think Russia is going to – so I think Russia's going to have those 4 guys that I mentioned. You're going to get at least like 80 from those guys, maybe 90. And then you're looking at guys like Karugliev, really strong possibility for bronze. Chikayev can get bronze. Sokulov can get bronze.
Karugliev is a bronze lock, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I just feel like they're like we match them up until about 6 or 7. Like, basically, the bottom end of the spectrum of the teams are going to decide it.
I think we got a shot. I wouldn't, like, Ghazi at 70 is ranked number 1 in the world. I think he could get picked off.
Look, I wrote 10,000 words on it. The TLDR is more things need to go right for USA to win than things need to go right for Russia for them to win.
Sure, but
that's
right.
where I'm. So basically, if you're looking at like a percentage, right, it's like 55-45 in favor of Russia, in my opinion, based on the composition of the team. And the other thing that's really hard to do about this is when I did it with Penn State, Ohio State, NCAA brackets come out 2 weeks before. So you can literally go through the field and go, okay, this is where I see Nick Lee placing because of this matchup and this matchup. And, okay, if he loses here, like you can play out every scenario. With Worlds, it's totally up in the air.
Though, 55, maybe even 60-40 and then when they have one guy drop and then maybe it becomes a little closer. I think that's right. Also, this is going to be 4 days of torture, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
it used to not be that long, right?
Right.
Well, let's hope we're still in it throughout. I think we will be. What's interesting? How about this? Willie and I think everyone here are big on the non-Olympic weights, but Russia is going to widen the gap. If they're going to win, it's because they're so good at the non-Olympic weights. They're so good at 61, 70, 79, right? Mm-hmm. And that's going to be a difference maker. And it makes me wonder, headed into 2020, are we going to be back in position? Or are we going to have an advantage down to the 6 weights again?
That's a good call.
So we'll see. So I guess, Bort Hart, if you subscribe to my line of thinking that we'll have more golds, it does help us, but it doesn't if you agree with Nomad, who makes good points.
Real quick, and then we can go into questions. I just want to, once again, I've done it a bunch. It's in my article, but once again, gold worth 25 points, silver worth 20. Bronze worth 15, 5th place is worth 10. So every medal match is worth 5 points. Getting a win in the quarterfinals is worth 10 points because it guarantees you 5th place. A win in the semis is worth 10 points because you go from 5th place points to silver. And then I won't explain how they determine 7th through 10th, but at some point on Twitter I will. 7th place is 8 points. 8th place is 6 points. 9th place is 4 points. 10th place is 2 points.
Dang. It's a lot of points for 7th. Okay. I like it. I like the new scoring system. I think it's simple, makes sense. Good job. All right. questions from friends.
Alrighty.
Already?
I said alrighty.
Oh. I'm like, man.
We've been talking for an hour.
I'm like, it's 9. Okay. Vac Attack.
Uh-oh.
Message board legend. I don't even think that's his real name. FRL questions. Think you guys undersold Metcalf for Zayn? He's a huge Hawkeye fan. From a matchup perspective, feel like Metcalf better from neutral and can't remember him being turned from top, only feet to back and maybe more physical than Zayn. How many times did Metcalf ever give up riding time? And Jason Roush agrees with him. Jason Roush, smart guy. I'm pretty sure he's from Ohio. So, listen, Metcalf took neutral against Lance Palmer. If you wanna compare top resumes, Zayn versus Lance Palmer, feel free. It's Zayn, right? I think he's a much better rider. I don't think you're giving Zayn enough credit for his top transcendence. Right?
Well, yeah, that and I don't know why it's a question. First of all, Vac and Roush are awesome and they're very intelligent, very smart wrestling people. But I don't understand why it comes down to the top thing. I mean, when you say I've never seen Metcalf do this. Look, I was the one that said we got to think about this a little harder than just picking Zayn because of recency. But listen, you say you've never seen Metcalf do that. I've never seen Zayn get taken down the way Metcalf did against Caldwell. I mean, that kind of match never happened for Zayn.
Yeah, and you bring that up. There's a few times. I mean, Bubba got out to a 2 takedown, maybe 2 takedown. I could have made that up, but I'm pretty sure in their final, Bubba got a takedown or 2 to start it. I'll have to go back and watch.
He did, but I mean, Le'Veon Mays took down Zayn first. We just uploaded a clip yesterday where Keyshawn Hayes took down Zayn twice in 30 seconds. Micah Jordan took down Zayn.
Why didn't you show the rest of the match, Bracky?
Oh, man.
They ended up in destructions.
I understand that, and so did Metcalf's against Bubba.
He killed Bubba.
He majored Bubba after giving up the first 2 takedowns in the NCAA finals.
I know, but it didn't happen to Caldwell.
I also, the maybe more physical than Zayn, I don't know if that's giving enough credit to Zayn's physicality.
Exactly. That's what my next point was. Like, this dude made the world team beating out Frank Molinaro, who is
in a boxing match.
Literally a fight. And not only that, okay, that's 2017. He made the team. Very tough field. 2016, he was 3rd at the trials where Metcalf was there. Metcalf was in those trials, right? And he wrestled back for 3rd, and Brent did not. So I think you're right in that maybe you're identifying, Vac, the opportunities for Metcalf. If it is because he is more physical. But I'm not willing to concede that. So hopefully that match happens. Man, we'll get it at the Open. All right. Tim Amos. This is a great one. I actually don't even know the answers. I'm hoping for Nomad, and it's a little delicate too. But when Mastro caused Nomad to delete his
Normal?
Yeah, he's not Normal. Nothing normal about this guy. Caused Nomad to delete his Cornell article. FRL said it occasionally happens. What are top 5 drafted articles that were scrapped when the story went an unexpected direction? Well, the all-time one, or the funny one, is we had more this coach to Pitt. There's at least 3 or 4 that just got left in there. It was like, there was so much, for whatever reason, there was so much chatter about this. We were getting all this stuff. And so what we do is, all right, we write it up and have it ready to go, because if it gets announced, all right, boom, we've got it done, right? It's not like we don't just run and post something because we hear a rumor, but if we hear something, it's like, all right, let's have it ready so that we're not caught with our pants down when it happens. So I forget how many Pitt coaches we had ready to go.
Can we say the names?
Yeah, say the names. So
we had Flynn. We had Bono. We had Headley.
Did we have Santoro?
Oh, did we have?
I think he was out of it pretty early.
I think he was out of it. Yeah, I think he was out of it too.
Who was the other
Kale
Pitt assistant at the time?
Coker.
Pretty sure we had Coker for a while. See, we ultimately, what makes this tough to answer definitively, Tim, is that once it's happened, Keith Gavin's now the coach. So those articles, we'll just like delete them so they're just not there in drafts anymore. Because if you go back and look at our drafts, there's not much still in there.
This is
So-
probably the juiciest one right now.
Yeah, the Kirkfleet Penn State one, which we talked about. We're like, hey, let's have this ready to go in case it happens, but he's going to Ohio State.
That was a really good article too. I did like the whole saga.
He poured his heart and soul into it.
So
Let's just run it.
there's a few points with this. So the first point is that the old CMS, like the old way that the
Oh wow, this is
site was laid out. This
really
is going inside baseball, but the old way the site was laid out, it was a lot easier to just laugh at ridiculous things that we had written or had bannered because of the way they were organized. Anyway, but then there's also good information or information that was once good that becomes bad, and then there's putting out or getting ready to put things out that change. So for example, kids entering a tournament, Spencer Lee going to the U.S. Open, for example, that can change because if they don't show up to weigh-ins, then the information becomes bad. But then there's also
They don't want to know about this. They want to know about the heat.
But I know,
what's
but
the juice?
what I'm saying is that those are the two different ways.
Yeah.
Kirkfleet up there, Pitt coach up there.
See, that's all you got too. All right, sorry, Tim.
Willie?
It's bad because there has been some juice. There's been some fire in there. We just can't remember.
Darn it. I mean, I feel like it hasn't been a juicy summer, but I feel like 2 summers ago, I bet we had a couple drafts of the Oklahoma coach. I bet we had a Mark Perry to Oklahoma draft in there. That didn't happen.
Kids flipping.
Oh yeah,
Because that's been something we get a lot of tips on that don't end up happening. But it's been a couple summers since last summer wasn't like that.
How about
Yeah.
going back, Willie? Alex Mead? Did you have anything with that?
Alex Mead.
That was a big one back in the day.
No, there was a site in Ohio that screwed that up.
Is that
So
what it
bad
was?
that they had to shut down.
Oh my word, Alex Mead. Okay, that's when it's time to go to the next question. Is
Hey,
Wo-
why is there's a whole section from one guy in here?
He's-
Brock Desert?
He's good. He's good.
I know, but it's just a wall of Brock Desert
What?
at successful rant questions.
I know, but he just put them all together. It's so easy to screenshot and throw them in there, and so that's what I did. All right, I like this one from the FRL Inquisitor. Corner coach, important or not, international and college. Essential in international, because if you don't have good brick discipline, Nomad went towel waving. I'm talking more about the challenge system where you can change the literal score of the match. But yes, the towel matters too. That's really important. That's super important. You have to know. You have to have the patience to know, do I want to challenge a step out now in the first 30 seconds of the match, knowing this is Worlds and it's probably going to come down to a late controversial exchange, and if I lose this challenge, I won't have it for the rest of the match. It's more important in international because you have one per match, right? In college, the corner coach, you get challenges, but literally you're, Ohio State, you get 3 for your whole team for a whole tournament or something crazy. That's a maybe fake number, but you don't get as many. So more important in international. I guess if you want to talk about from a tactics standpoint, there's not a lot going on there that you can really do.
There's also a literal break international.
Yeah.
There's 100% chance, unless the match ends early in the first period, that you will get to go see your coach in the middle of the match. In folk style, I mean, your coach could literally sit there quietly the whole time.
I mean, here's
wouldn't know the
case
difference.
in point. Just watch Cale Sanderson in the corner. Not much going on there. Not a lot of talk. He'll pick his spots. He'll give an encouraging clap, and he'll confront for a challenge. But that's pretty much
How much can
it.
you really coach from the corner in a collegiate style match?
Yeah, it's more of a control thing for the coaches. The ones that are talking a lot, it's just their own control mechanism more than I think they're actually being helpful.
And there are some kids that want and I guess this is more at the high school level, but there are some kids that want and need the not even so much the coaching, the tactics, but all right, you're doing good here, keep hitting your shots, simple things like that just kind of reaffirm okay, I can beat this guy.
You know what's weird? I just thought of it. It's the weirdest feeling in the world. If somebody's in your corner and they're yelling stuff at you, you're probably not really paying much attention to it, right? If you
Right.
they're do this, do that. It's just white noise, right?
Yeah. But if they tell you to if they tell you to wrestle smart, then you know what that means.
Stuff like that, like let's go, come on, finish the match or whatever, right?
There's another classic one from Travis, 1 not 2. Great. I was planning on getting reversed here, but now, Coach, you've really changed my philosophy on wrestling on the mat, and I'm just gonna give up the escape.
Right. So like you don't really pay attention to the coach anyway.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you were ever at a tournament and it's a big tournament and you get called to a mat and you have no coach and you go out there and wrestle with no coach, it is like the loneliest feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Like, I wish there was somebody here that I wouldn't even pay attention to anyway, but there's not, and now I feel insecure.
You need someone to have your back at all times. Or someone to say, wrestle here. That's always important. Is Willie the real Hawkeye hater? Asks DJ Jr., 54.
No.
He picked every Hawk recruit to lose at Super 32. Nomad has at least one winning, Patrick Kennedy, which I absolutely agree with, says DJ Jr. Go Hawks.
DJ Jr. is just starting trouble.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I mean, you've been the OG Hawkeye hater.
You are the OG. Back from when you called Hawkeye Report a dumpster fire.
You picked against Terry
Cesspool, I think it was.
when he wrestled the beard.
Cesspool. Yeah, Cesspool.
Him and I, and
I don't know. One of those two. Yeah. No, I don't hate the Hawkeyes.
in 2015, Willie and I, we went to Oklahoma State, Iowa, and before the duel, he tweeted, Hawkeye wrestling fans, I'll be in Gallagher signing autographs with a winky face. He just playing into it.
Yeah.
No, I didn't take Shriver. He lost to Greg D last time out. I did take Staraki over Assad. I don't know. It was a 2-2 match last time.
Hater.
Kennedy. I mean, listen, these guys could all win. I didn't pick them. It doesn't mean I'm anti. Who's the other one? Sokol? Sokol just lost to an unranked guy. Why would I pick him?
Sounds like a lot of excuses.
A lot of excuses. A lot of chatter. Okay. When's the next Flow film, asks Connor Short. Well, Terry, but then also the Henry Terry one, but also the one that's being worked on right now, Kyle Connell film. This guy has an amazing story. No spoilers, but it's going to be great. And then after that...
No spoilers, but he gets third at NCAAs.
Shoot. Now, who's going to watch now, Nomad? Jeez. And then we've got a Dake Taylor one that's going to be super, super juicy. And I saw an opening little string out. And they're like, so I don't know if anyone knows how the actual film's process. We have like a team of like basically filmmaker, like movie storytelling geniuses that are like on this. So like we're kind of like, hey, let's do something about this guy. He's cool. They're like, okay, get out of the way, stupid. And then they arrange for the shooting and all that. And they put it together and they do a great job. And it's literal art. And we're so lucky to have those guys. So that's going to be really good. All right. Another wrestling question. Let me find one here. There's some silly ones in the mix here.
We also need to do this.
Yeah, and we will say the Pledge of Allegiance once the show's at the end there, for sure. Biggest potential.
Why do so many involve Nomad dying?
I know. I think people are kind of fascinated that he's still alive. Dang it, a lot of zombie apocalypses too. Biggest potential bracket buster in each weight at Worlds. Okay, I have moratorium on each weight, but just give me one, Nomad. Who's one guy you're like, keep an eye on my dude?
Come back to that.
All right, we'll come back to that.
Also because I can't hear him in my earpiece right now.
Okay. Well, fortunately, I'm right next to you, so at least you can.
I was more
You get
concerned about
info
him.
from Travis?
Is Travis piping in some?
No,
Oh my God.
Sometimes Willie's talking and I can't hear him
Got it.
because my thing comes.
Does
up.
anyone choose bottom on Spencer Lee again in his career?
They shouldn't.
You say yeah.
Yeah, of course they will. Because
I'm sure
coaches are
someone.
like,
Stupid. Why would
Somebody absolutely will. They shouldn't, but
Yeah, why would you do that?
you do it?
There's so many reasons to not do that. Yeah, I don't know. Someone will. We should write an article, an expose every time someone chooses bottom against Spencer Lee.
My bracket buster is Torre Blanca.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Oh, it's Demirtas from Turkey.
See, no, I just don't.
Well, I don't know. Define bracket buster.
Yeah, okay. I can't push into that. I mean, he beat Chorizo.
Bracket buster worlds is very different because there's like
Right.
guys who make improbable runs to the finals, and you're like, oh, no wonder they didn't wrestle.
That's a great point.
They didn't navigate.
They're not a bracket. They didn't bust the bracket. The random draw busted the bracket.
Right.
They're just like able to just kind of like, hey, what a nice little path I've been given here. Okay.
Kam Sung Kang, the North Korean. There you go.
Love it.
That's an actual bracket buster because he could actually beat all the top guys.
Is there a 57 one that's like
57.
Oh, okay, there it is. 57. Got it. We saw the Suriano rule come into effect right away last year when J. Rent missed weight. How often do you foresee this coming into play? Yearly, every 5 years, 10 years? How often does this happen? It's not too often. And what he's referring to is if a guy a la Suriano a year ago, they didn't pull him out. They intentionally, they knew Suriano wasn't wrestling all along. Penn State knew this. But it messed with Oklahoma State badly, I'm pretty sure. Yes, it did.
Because Pitch would have been
Opposite
Gilman.
Yes.
And not had Gilman in the quarters.
Yeah.
He could have made the semis.
Not that it would have. At the time, Oklahoma State, Penn State was going to be a team race.
John Smith was furious.
John was not pleased. So they left Suriano in the bracket, not because they thought he could wrestle. There was outside chance. Kale and all of them knew he wasn't wrestling, but it messed with them, so they let him mess with him. But he stayed in the bracket. He was a forfeit, etc. So the NCAA said, enough of that. So this year, when J. Rent missed weight, it allowed Valdiviez from Northwestern to get in the bracket, and it was great, and we had a full bracket.
Well, the Suriano rule would actually be that the tournament gets reseeded. Which is not a rule.
Yeah, okay. Or like just slide the seeds. maybe.
Right. I'm sorry, not reseeded. Slide.
Everyone goes up one.
Yes.
Yeah, that should definitely happen. Why would you not slide the seeds?
Right.
That was what John was furious about.
Yeah, you got to slide.
Right, because he would have moved up and then changed spots.
Yeah. Because as it was, Pitch had Gilman in the either round 2 or the quarters.
I believe it was quarters.
Pitch
One
was
versus
what,
8.
the 7
Let's
or the 6?
It was 1 versus 8,
Yeah,
so it was quarters.
exactly right.
He would have been this. He would have been the 7.
So he would have been down there with the 2. Yeah. And, Lezak made the finals out of that bottom set. I don't know, we're getting down into it. So, yeah, but the question actually is how often does this happen?
Yeah, he was the 8. He would have gone to 7, which would have had a Joey Dance quarter.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Yeah.
2 of the fastest guys ever.
Much more manageable than Gilman, though.
Yeah, for him, matchup-wise.
Yes.
Okay. Even though I still think that's a tough one, because Joey.
You want to meet in a parking lot.
Yeah, no fights. Okay, I don't know how often this is going to happen. Maybe every other year, we'll say. All right. This is I know it's a little personal, but I want to answer this one. Would I, Christian Piles, eat Emo's Pizza every day for a month if it meant I could turn Kyle Brackey at will? Now, Emo's Pizza is the worst pizza ever made. It's in St. Louis, and don't ever eat it. And we've talked about that many times. We're on the record there. Would I eat this terrible trash pizza every day to turn Kyle Brackey?
I'm sure that you would.
Absolutely, yeah. I would. Without reservation, I would eat it. Just here's how I would think of it. Listen, you eat broccoli and other terrible vegetables because you know it's going to do a good thing for you, not because you enjoy eating awful broccoli, right, and spinach. You just do it because it's the right thing to do.
I just don't eat things I don't like.
Yeah, he just doesn't do that. It's gonna catch up with him one day. He'll see. But yes, I would eat. I would take that same mentality. It's like, you know what, this is bad, but it's gonna get me something good. I can turn Kyle Brackey at will. That's good enough for me. So that's what I would do. I would absolutely eat Emo's Pizza daily. Now, if I had to eat it all day, every day, that's all I could eat for a month. That's a different discussion.
Why do you need to turn Kyle Brackey? Why do you need to do that?
I don't know.
I see where he's coming from.
Would you not?
If roles were reversed, I would do it too, because it's just like.
Why?
Because you're like.
Need to wrestle. You're a grown man.
Because we're competitive.
It's called being a competitor, Will. You should try it sometime.
Well, what are you doing, Christian? What if your wife? What if Katie was like, Christian, why are you constantly eating emos? You're gonna say, as a grown married man, father of 2, you're gonna say, I want to be able to turn Kyle.
At will. You forgot at will. She would understand. She knows I'm a lunatic.
You would shake her. You know she would give me that look.
Yeah, I'm used to the look. 12 years of marriage coming up this Sunday. I'm used to the look. It's not a big deal. For everyone, asks Turd Ferguson. Kyle Snyder is now evil and bent on world conquest. Crap. The only way to stop him is to defeat him in a competition of your choosing. What do you choose? The fate of the world is in your hands. So I think we all choose the thing. It has to be somewhat of a sport or something competitive. Maybe it's not. I don't know. You could say chess. What you would beat him in. You're confident that the fate of the world is in our hands. I would beat Kyle Snyder definitively. No questions asked in ping pong.
FIFA Street.
You don't know that.
I promise. I would beat him. I promise.
What if Kyle's really good at ping pong?
Well, that's all I've got. What am I going to do?
What am I supposed to do?
What, arm wrestle?
I'm gonna get him on the sticks in Madden.
All right, you're going to run him in Madden?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stink at all these things.
No, Mad?
FIFA Street.
FIFA Street, a game that
I don't think that's real.
FIFA Street?
All right, Willie, what are you doing? Budweiser
Love
drinking
FIFA Street.
competition?
No, I don't even think I can beat him in that.
Yeah, you couldn't beat him in a beer mile.
I think
Willie
there's
runs a
only
mile.
one hope here,
What?
and I think it's fantasy football.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I like that.
I like that.
Is that so? Like DraftKings, like a one-day thing?
I don't. In general,
Yeah. in general.
Okay.
I would say. Also, I just want to make this observation clear. I am the only one that chose a physical activity. Everyone of you, I'm gonna engage this physical specimen in a physical
If
act.
you consider ping pong a
I
physical
can't
act,
believe you-
congrats.
I
Yeah,
can't
ping pong.
You're really showing your physical dominance
Hey,
over him there, man.
Better than Madden, fantasy football, and FIFA Street. That's all
I mean,
I'm saying.
You probably burn as many calories playing ping pong.
If you play with someone good, you can get a good sweat going. All right, great question. Great question from Turd Ferguson.
All right, let's do this.
He was unsure how to ask. I talked to him in the Twitter DMs.
Okay, let's
This is
all
gonna
right,
look
let's
really
go.
bad.
We're gonna do the Pledge of Allegiance. We have to stand. Willie, you have to stand, and please lead us
This is not good.
Okay.
in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Did you guys ever see the campaign when he has to say the Lord's Prayer?
No. All right,
Yeah.
hold on. I'm gonna take my earpiece out for respect. All right, go ahead, Willie.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm also pretty woke on Willie not knowing the Pledge of Allegiance because he just
He
kind of
stopped.
stopped.
You guys have to say part of it.
We said
We did.
we
We
said
said
the whole thing.
thing.
You didn't know it.
I said it. I started it. You guys finished it.
Travis, oh my gosh, he doesn't know the Pledge of Allegiance. Travis, did you hear our Pledge of Allegiance? Okay, he stopped talking. You just stopped talking, Willie.
And you three in unison finished it off. It was pretty neat.
Go USA, go
USA.
America. World starts Saturday. Back to back.
USA.
We are excited here.
USA.
Thank you to ASICS.
USA.
Thank you to America.
USA.
Jordan Burroughs.
Come and get some
Kyle
Sandra
Snyder.
Liner.
Let's
Joe
go.
Cologne. Jake Taylor. Gilman. We're coming. See you guys.